Morning, y'all, from McLeod Homestead. Figured I'd try to give y'all a quick tour of what we got going on here on the homestead this year. We've only been out here for about 2 years, so we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do, where we're going to do it, and how we're going to do it. If you don't know, gardening's all about experimentation. So first off, I got here behind me, I got a potato patch going. I tried this last year and deer got all my potatoes, ate them down, so I didn't really get a harvest. This year, trying some different methods. So this is roughly 80 potato seeds in here. I'm growing some Yukon Golds and some purple potatoes. I'm also doing trash can potatoes here. So if you haven't seen on how to do that, you just slowly add the substrate as they come on up. And then I had some leftover seeds, so I'm doing some box potatoes here as well. So we'll see. Hopefully I get something out of it all. It's not very pretty with all the fencing, but I gotta do something to keep the deer out. So also over here, I got some cucumbers coming up. So these were all grown by seed also. I started them in the shed and under grow lights. And then I'm going to try this method this year. So I don't know if you can tell, but this fence going up here, it's actually at an angle. So the idea is that the cucumbers will grow up on that, and if they get long enough, they'll drop over the fence. So we'll see how that one works out. Coming over my other side, this here's a row of black beans. These were all grown from black bean seeds from last year. Started off with roughly 40 seeds. Not all of them came up, so we'll see what we get out of that. Then this was some leftover peas we had, and daughter loves these. We'll come out, we'll eat these peas straight off the vine, get in there, get you a pea pod, and just snack on it right there. It's really good eating. So I got a couple different tomatoes going on. This is just a cherry tomato left over, and I'll show you in a bit my tomato bed I got going. This is my first raised bed. So it's roughly 2 feet up off the ground. This is a carryover bed from last year. So I got some yellow onions going in here. I got some peppers, including right here. These are some hot banana peppers, and you can smell them, they're so hot. This fenced off area here, just fenced this off. My mom was out here yesterday, helped me do this. But I got okra in here and some broccoli. Broccoli was grown by seed, and okra we bought from a local nursery there. So moving on around here. So this here's what I'm calling my pollinator bed. So if you haven't seen on Facebook, it was real big last year, using fence slats and these corner posts to build this. So they advertised on the Facebook video saying, oh, you can do it for 50 bucks. Once you put your dirt in there, everything in there, it does cost you more than 50. So, but it's working. This pollinator bed, that's all it's for, is attract those bees and butterflies and everything else in here to help all my other plants. So I got this idea from Perkins farm up in Wheatfield, Indiana. We were up there for a family trip, stayed on their farm and talked to Mr. Perkins up there. So that's where I got this idea, was from pollinator bed. Under the fence there, also some strawberries. I had a couple strawberries in some pots, weren't doing very well, so figured I'd move them out, see what happens. Real fast, these marigolds, these are actually marigolds right here. Those are also grown from seed. I try to grow as much from seed as I can. So that way it's the non-modified, anything like that. And I know where it's from, and plus it's the adventure of it. So this is a new bed I built this year. It's going to be my tomato bed. It is roughly 2 feet wide, and I think it ended up being a 10-foot long. I got 5 tomato plants in here. These 2 at the end are this one at the end is cherry tomato. And then the first 4, I can't remember. 2's Rutger tomatoes and 2 are Ace 55s. So that's what I got going on up in the beds. Out in the field, I got an orange tree back here put in the ground. This was carried over from a pot that we've been carrying around. And then a little orange tree there also. And once again, they're all fenced. I got fenced everything out here, keep the deer away. So this is an experimental pot here. This one, I got other little pots, so if you watch the videos and you see little random pots out here, this is basil. I tried it last year to try to keep the deer away. I read that deer don't like basil. Put a sacrificial pot out here of basil, they didn't touch it. So if you see, I got pots out here, they're not covered, and the basil's looking healthy. Deer are not touching it. So I might end up being just a basil farmer to keep the deer away from everything. But that's what's going on with just the little random pots around here. This year we also put in 4 blueberry bushes here. Blueberries are not self-pollinators, so if you are going to get you a blueberry, you're going to end up with more than one. Also pay attention, certain varieties require another type of variety, so it gets a little confusing there. Variety A may need variety B. Variety B may need variety C. So you might end up with 2 or 3 blueberry bushes. But luckily for us, these 4 varieties, and I don't remember what they are, I'll try to put them down in the description, they require each other. So more of them that you have, the better the fruit, better production also. There's another little random basil pot. This here little area here, it's about a 2-foot diameter plot there. This is provider beans. It's just a type of bean. I had a partial pack left over, stuck them in the ground, said let's see what happens. But they're looking good. They got buds coming up, which means I'm gonna get some beans out of that there. Leftover from last year, deer snubbed it down. It came back this year. Now it's under behind a fence. If I remember right, this is raspberry. See what happens. Don't remember. It's carryover from last year. That's old soaker hose left out there. Another carryover. Once again, this one here is going to be basil and basil in the ground. And then this is carryover from last year also. It's supposed to be blackberry. See what happens. Deer got a hold of it also. Without walking all the way out there, what I got going out here, if you can see them, these fences with the white, that is 8 fruit trees. It's 4 pear trees and 4 peach trees. We just got those and put those in this year. That there's thanks to my mom and Paul. They bought those for us to put out here on the land in hopes of getting fruit back. So hopefully we can get them something back in return for that. And then of course, previous video you saw me planting my arbor foundation trees. I got 11 of them in the ground. So far they're looking good. Through the storms last night, nothing over. Everything looks good and healthy. So then of course we got the chickens going on, and I got one other bed up near the house. It's got kale and spinach, some tomatoes that just surprised me and came back up, I guess from last year. So we'll see what happens. And it's an adventure. So we just keep learning and going and figuring it out as we go. Hope y'all have a good day.